This is for entertainment purposes only.
Who is Enoch?
Enoch is half human, half Anunnaki, according to some of the texts. So he's a quote-unquote demigod, supposedly. So he was, his father was a god.
This planet is controlled by a bunch of ETs that actually hate us. They really hate us. If you want to know who created starvation, the government, the wars, politics, it all came from these great aliens right here. The reason why these great aliens hate us so much is because they lost their soul.
Thanks for tuning into another episode of Quick Reaction TV, the coolest vibe on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and rock the bell for new uploads. Join the Quik crew, you know what we do, call it cap or facts. Today's selections are interesting, let's dive in. Quik.
It looks like the United States Congress might try to ban TikTok again. The way it reads is there's a bill coming up in front of Congress tomorrow, March 7th. And part of it, they want TikTok either to be sold from the company that owns it or banned completely in the US. Yeah, that's what it says. Some of the politicians are trying to say they don't want to ban TikTok, but that's exactly what's in this bill. Over 170 million Americans are on the app, and I don't think they're going to be too happy if this thing gets banned. And it looks like Congress has a lot of juice behind it this time. Looks like it could happen. Now, I'm of the opinion that the ban won't happen, because I can't see any politician being dumb enough to ban an app that many voters, voters, are using. But then again, you never know. If that bill gets through Congress and it goes up to Biden for him to sign it, it'll end up in his hands, and that could sway the election. Seriously. Okay, I'm just letting you know, Booshkies. Shavadoo.
Damn! The giant face on the moon. What is it? Why is it there? And why the fuck is it watching us? Are we being judged? It's not just America, Russia, China. No, the whole world is being judged, and we are being watched by the watchers. Why do you think they're watching us? Every choice we make, every decision, every action, everything we say is being judged. We are really in judgment right now, but so many people can't understand this. Look at the world. You can't tell? Let me be real clear about what's going on in the universe. We are guys and we are not guys at the same time. There are giants that watch over our world. It's a reason why nature keep making the same pattern over and over. Do you understand what you are looking at? More of the same pattern. More of the same pattern. Nature don't make no mistakes. The watcher that watches us or that watches the moon and the sun, we can have the same responsibility. Remember, we are giants and not giants at the same time. The watcher that watches the moon, we can do the same thing. That's how when we go outside and pick up a bunch of ants, the ants are saying, God damn, that human is really a giant. Why is it watching us? When we go outside and step on grass, we say shit, it's just grass, but to the small insects, it is their jungle. Just how when we go in the jungle, we see big ass trees like, God damn, that tree is really big. But the watchers look at our jungle like it's just regular grass, and we are just the ants to these giants. So when we look up like, God damn, there's a giant that's watching over us. When you pick up the ant is saying the same thing. We are guys and ants at the same time. That's what nature's trying to tell us with the spiral of life. There is going to be something always bigger and something always smaller. We have to understand what the language of the universe really is again. Remember, how we treat every life form on this planet is the same way these watchers are going to treat us. So if we want to enslave, imprison all kind of animals, these watchers are going to do the same thing to us. Why do you think we are in the Matrix right now? Whatever you do to every life form on this planet, another life form is going to do to us.
Leave that dope alone.
You haven't.
He need to leave that dope alone.
I need y'all to listen to me very closely, because now they have brought back the TikTok ban. And this time, it might be official. Y'all see, TikTok faces more heat as Washington and House members introduce a new legislative demanding ByteDance divestiture. Divestiture means the action or process of selling of a business, which means they want them to sell TikTok. And you see, lawmakers introduced a new bill on Tuesday that requires Chinese ByteDance to sell their business in order to avoid the ban. of the video app in the US. And TikTok said this will trample the First Amendment rights of 170 million Americans and deprive 5 million small businesses of the platform that relies on the growth to create jobs. Either way, it's not looking good for TikTok, because if they sell TikTok, it's bad. If they ban TikTok, it's bad. Now, considering them banning TikTok, y'all can go follow me on Facebook and Instagram. That's where I will be posting my shorts videos. We don't know what can happen in these days to come. It's not looking good. Oh, damn!
Terence McKenna, what did he say? To search expectantly for a radio signal from a distant civilization is as culture-bound a presumption as to search the galaxy for a good Italian restaurant. Right? It's a great line, right?
That's great.
You know, we're so limited in our thinking, the idea that these aliens, these advanced intelligences, would be using radio signals. But I think it's even worse than that, because if we think about the progression of intelligent civilization, you have a number of phases. To me, I break it up into 3 phases. I have what I call the pre-technological phase. So this is us, you know, more than 100 or so years ago, where we weren't thinking of, in a really intelligent way at least, about communicating with other intelligences in the cosmos. We weren't doing it. We didn't have the ability to do it. We couldn't even send radio signals, right? So we can kind of forget about those civilizations, you know, other civilizations at that level of advancement. There's no way we could communicate with them without physically going to their planet and finding them, because they don't have the technology either, right? Then we have us. We are in this technological phase. We can conceive of other intelligences elsewhere. We can conceive of how we might communicate with them. We can even think about how we might ultimately leave planet Earth, how we might even transcend our biology. Even that is something that's strongly considered now, to become a form of artificial intelligence. You know, the idea of uploading us, our consciousness or something, into some computational structure, right? That's already an idea. And according to people like physicist Paul Davies, philosopher Susan Schneider, have been writing about this. It's their contention that once a civilization reaches the level of advancement where they can conceive of transcending their biology, becoming post-biological, they're probably only a few hundred years from doing so, right? So we'd no longer be physical intelligences using a physical wet brain and body to kind of instantiate our civilization. We would become post-biological. And so that means, right, that if you think about all the intelligences elsewhere in the cosmos, the number of intelligences that are within our technological phase, it's a very narrow temporal window, right? Just maybe a few hundred years. Once an intelligence reaches the technological phase, they're probably only a few hundred years from transcending their biology entirely, yeah, becoming post-biological. We can talk about what I mean by post-biological, but what that would mean is that they would be completely transparent to any mode of communication we have. You know, beyond that, we couldn't even conceive of an intelligence that has become post-biological at all. And so, focusing our attention on technological beings that are sufficiently technologically advanced, but still in physical, wet-brained, carbon-based forms, is restricting the search to probably, I don't want to give a number, but a very small proportion of the intelligence in the cosmos. The vast majority of intelligence in the cosmos is likely to be post-biological and completely transparent to any mode of communication.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think my brain just committed suicide.
Hey, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and join the Quik crew, and comment below. I call Cap. Let's get back to it.
Who is
Quik.
Enoch?
Enoch is half human, half Anunnaki, according to some of the text. So he's a quote-unquote demigod, supposedly. So he was, his father was a god, with a lowercase g, and his mother was a human being. He was special, and these beings that came to visit gave him an appointed date that he would be taken away from Earth. And so he got taken away from Earth, and he then describes the shape of the Earth, the size, the color, everything from space, gigantic blue glowing sphere. He's then brought back at some point in the future. In the Bible, it seems as if he just disappeared from Earth and he was taken into heaven and never came back. In the book of Enoch, you find out he was brought back. Pretty interesting. Also, what's interesting about Enoch is he came back with some advanced knowledge and understanding about construction techniques.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, this guy understands and knows how to build megalithic structures. Who taught him this information? Wherever he went, he became a student, and he had this knowledge and this wisdom.
You are really dumb, for real.
This is the one. This explains our purpose on Earth if it's true. Y'all couldn't stop asking me about it, so here you go. I can't even say it.
Good day, my friends. They say you learn something new every day. Well, here's a question I've pondered for a while. When Jesus healed the blind man, he spat on the ground and made a paste and rubbed it into his eyes. Why did he do that? Because as God, he only needed to give the word and that man's sight would have been restored. So why did he make a paste? The story goes that Jesus saw the blind man, went up, spat on the ground and made a paste, put it on the man's eyes, and he was healed, although he'd been blind from birth. Then the Pharisees come and question the man and wonder if he was blind from birth. And certain witnesses are asked, including the parents. Now, it is believed that this man was disinherited by his parents. There was a custom among the Jews at the time that if a person was born disabled, when he reached the age of 13, the parents could disinherit him. And it is believed that this had happened to this man. For two reasons in this text. One, why was he begging if his parents were around? And two, when the parents were questioned if this was their son and was he born blind, their response was, ask him, he is of age, let him speak for himself. So it is believed that this man had been disinherited by his parents at the age of 13. So this is the key as to why Jesus spat on the ground and made a paste. Because if someone was disinherited by their parents, when the Jews passed by them, they used to spit on the ground because they thought those people were an abomination to God. And all his life, this man would have heard people spit on the ground in front of him. So when Jesus spat on the ground beside the blind man, it had a deep meaning. He was showing the blind man that the sound of saliva that he had heard all his life would be the key to his healing, his emotional and physical healing. In spitting on the ground, Jesus wanted to reveal that the greatest wound and source of pain for this man was not his blindness, but rather having been disinherited by his parents. Before healing his physical disability, Jesus wanted to heal the wounds of his soul. God bless.
Someone. Yeah, how can you just swallow that whole?
I don't know about you, but he clearly seemed genuinely uncomfortable talking about this, and I can't think of any reason he'd have to lie about it. So in the tablets, they called this new species the first men, translated to Adamu. Now in Hebrew, Adam translates to man, so Adamu was taken to mean men of Adam. Does that name sound familiar to you? Reminder that these tablets were dated to around 2400 BC, a whole 1,000 years before the book of Genesis was first said to be written. These new genetic hybrid humans started working the mines in place of the original Ijiji, which in return for their work were educated with the gift of civilization. Language, agriculture, governing, housing, technology, medicine. Some Anunnaki got a little close with the humans and bred with them. Yes, that's exactly what you think it means. And
look at this and tell me if you recognize anything there.
Yes, I do. It resembles a panel that I saw at the structure in Antarctica. That was a panel that had the star map on it.
And the star map, do you know?
From what they could estimate, it was not only our universe, but 3 universes combined in one large star map. The focal point was what our Hubble Space Telescope has photographed and recorded at that time. Then they correlated what the Hubble Space Telescope had taken photographs of that was not in our universe, but actually a different universe outside, further out than what we think our universe is.
I know that what you just said to me was that we were using the Hubble to photograph in another universe outside of this universe.
Yes, ma'am.
And then another universe.
Yes, ma'am. The way it was described to me, they were taking mathematical equations, formulas, from different points of our universe and pinpointing it to photographs or recordings that was made by our Hubble Space Telescope, which at that time was the best technological device that we had at that time.
Was this generated by extraterrestrial beings?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know that Earth has a heartbeat? Yes, it does, and it's known as the Schumann resonance. You may have heard about this and how the sun has been affecting the Schumann resonance. Also keep in mind that our entire biological system, the brain and the Earth itself, works on the same frequencies. As organisms inside of Earth's body, we are the cells inside of Earth's body to keep Earth alive. And as the sun is affecting the Schumann resonance, the cells inside of Earth's body, which is us as organisms, become affected by the sun's UV rays, or solar flares by the sun. So as we continue as a collective to raise our consciousness and vibration, Earth's heartbeat will continue to raise in frequency. I've seen this picture about the Schumann resonance on TikTok, but I'm not actually sure if it's real or not. But there are real pictures of the Schumann resonance. What I do know for a fact is there is a shift taking place on Earth right now, which is affecting the Earth's vibration as a whole, which is causing the planet to heat up because of this spiritual awakening.
What? So yeah, you guys, the new word on the street is scientists have updated the chance of a disastrous God of Chaos asteroid will hit Earth. You see this under there? The God of Chaos asteroid the size of a football pitch. It could be hurling towards us. And for some odd reason, they decided to call it Atmos, which refers to one of the most evil demons inside of the Egyptian mythology, which means the God of Chaos. Y'all see right here, NASA in the last few years have been running tests to see if it could divert the incoming asteroid or meteor, with probes and missiles. It's kind of sounded like this in Revelations. The second angel sounded the trumpet, and it was as it were a great mountain burning with fire was casted into the sea, and the third of the sea was turned into blood. Before you say misinformation, it's been multiple articles over this God of Chaos. You see, space.com, even CNN itself done covered it. Yeah, let me know what y'all think about this God of Chaos asteroid heading towards Earth. In the comments, like and follow for more wisdom, and stay tuned. We living in the Revelations. Just letting you know.
Oh, hell no! Zecharia Sitchin, he's like, the Sumerian text in his interpretation described a planet that came in an elliptical orbit every 3,600 years close to Earth. And that this planet was called Nibiru. And that this planet, that there's these creatures on this planet called the Anunnaki. And that human beings were the product of accelerated evolution. So the Anunnaki came down here when we were basically lower primates in the jungle, and they experimented with our DNA and turned us into what we are now.
Check this out, y'all. Y'all gotta check this out. This is some crazy stuff. Especially with Avatar Airbender coming out, you guys. Things are getting started. Look at this. How is he doing this? Look at that, y'all. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Look at that. How's he doing that, y'all? There's no string. How can... See, they show you these things in movies and they call it sci-fi, but you gotta ask yourself, where do they get the idea from? Okay, I mean, these people aren't that creative, right? So they gotta be these real individuals who are in real life, right? And the perfect place to hide them would be in prison, right? Where you don't see them. Look at that. How do you know if prison is full of superheroes, right? Wouldn't that where you keep your troublemakers? I mean, if you are running a world, a corporation, and we all know the United States is a corporation that the people didn't like, and you have people that could stop you, wouldn't you put those people behind prison? So they put these in movies and tell you that sci-fi, but the word psi comes from the word psyche, which means soul. And this is the phi symbol right here. As you can see, it's a O with an I coming in, like the I. It's a phi. The phi is really the I coming through the I. You get it? It is the I, which is your identity, coming through the I, which is your soul. The soul, the sun. So now with the coronal mass ejections and the sun going through solar maximum and all this stuff is happening now, things are starting to pop off, and you see it in prison. Think about how many videos like this are on the net that we haven't even come across yet that are probably getting scrubbed off the internet. So now the junk DNA, or what they call junk DNA, is finally being awakened, you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this video. This video strictly for entertainment purposes only. Have y'all seen that new airbending Avatar movie yet? Go check it out, you guys. Go check it out. And let me know what you guys think about this video. Like,
if you
comment,
made it
share
this
for more
far,
videos like
thanks
this.
for coming to
Thank you
Kick It
for
With
my
Me.
frequency. Let's get this
Like,
shift, y'all. Peace
subscribe,
out.
and join the Quik crew and comment your thoughts on today's video. Share this with your friends and who you care about. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Quik!
Quik.